Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me once again with the Blue Lotus Mindfulness and Meditation Center here in beautiful central Minnesota, in Brainerd, Minnesota. And I am so happy that you're able to spend some of your time with us this evening. It's a Monday evening here, April 4th, right? How about that? April 4th, we've already successfully completed 3 full months of 2022. How wonderful that is. We're all here just beginning to see signs of spring outside where I am. Otherwise, or we had a pretty good little snowfall yesterday where we are, but it's Minnesota. We expect a little snow up until mid-April or so. Anyway, I am so glad that you are here to join us tonight for our guided meditation and Dharma talk. So again, today is April 4th, 2022, 6 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. Could be different where you are, and it could be different if you're watching us on the replay, right? It may not be 6 o'clock where you are, but that's what time it is here. And so we'll start off with our guided meditation this evening. So it will be on our mind, our thinking mind, how to relax our thinking mind, and just accepting the thoughts that we have. And so you're more than welcome to get into the whatever comfortable position works best for you. Go ahead and close your eyes, and I'll be the one to guide you through this experience as we begin to settle our minds. So again, let's begin by taking a moment to settle ourselves into a comfortable position. You may close your eyes or keep them open with a soft focus, just looking gently down a few feet in front of you if you choose. Whatever works best for you is the right way. Breathe in and pause, and slowly exhale. Through your nose is fine, or through your mouth is fine too. You're invited at this time to also just bring a half smile onto your face. It's an enjoyable experience. Allow your spine to lift and your shoulders to soften. Soften your belly as you begin to settle in. Breathe in. Pause. And slowly exhale. Let's meditate on kindness for your thoughts. And then continue to let your breath flow naturally. Notice where the breath goes as it enters your body. And where it goes as it leaves your body. Now, go ahead and bring attention to your head. And without delving into any thoughts, notice how your head feels. Is there a part of your head that calls for a little more attention than others? Is there heaviness or lightness? Warmth? Or maybe a coolness? Just notice whatever you can about any of those physical sensations in your head. You might notice some tense muscles, maybe in your forehead or your jaw. If you can, see what it's like to just soften that tension. The brain does so much for us. Among other tasks, it takes in and processes and analyzes and stores a lot of information. Sometimes it absorbs too much and analyzes too much, which can leave us feeling stressed and tired. So, for the next few minutes, give your thinking mind permission to simply be. And breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale. If thoughts arise, there is no need to judge them. Instead, see if you can offer your thoughts your loving kindness. And then just come back to simply being. No judgment, no expectations, just being. It's the thinking mind's nature to just think. It's how it's evolved. You don't need to fight this at all. Instead, offer your thoughts your love and then come back again and again to open awareness of the physical sensations of your head. And just notice if they change over time. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale. Be mindful of any tension that may resurface back in your muscles, in your forehead or jaw. And then just soften them again, very gently. Given that our thinking mind does so much for us, let us open to offering it gratitude. Thank it for what it does to support you. All of those wonderful ways that your mind does support you. Making friends, picking out delicious food, and before closing, let's take a few moments to just give your thinking mind that permission to be. No expectations, no judgment, just let it be. Let all that tension just melt away. And go ahead and begin to open your eyes slowly and to reorientate yourself to your surroundings if you decide to move about. And with that, my friends, I wish you peace and ease. Wow. A thinking mind. Sometimes it can get us into trouble. Right? We overthink. Overthinking about things that could happen, things that don't happen, things that never will happen. Playing endless scenarios. Whenever I think about that, I just think about, you ever see that episode of Seinfeld with George Costanza and the shrimp? Well, the ocean called, right? How long it took for him to come back with that little comeback, only for his opponent to just come back with another witty reply. Just always thinking, always something doing. And all that thinking and all that doing can really slow us down. And so tonight's talk, right, dealing with or walking through the mud, walking through the mud, that's what I'm referring to. That overthinking, maybe too many activities going on. And so where does that mud come from? Right? Well, if we think about what mud really is, right, just the everyday nature aspect, right? It's a result of too much water falling into a soil that is already saturated, right? Already a lot going on. That soil can't hold any more water. So it produces mud. And that's what too many activities, too much doing, too much overthinking can result. Right? And then as a result of all that inundation of water, we get mud. Right? We get the mud. And the mud can really affect us, our lives, our daily lives. And have you ever tried walking on that muddy road or in a muddy field? My front road out front here it's not paved. It's a dirt country road, and so I know I mentioned with that we had snow the other day. It's all muddy right now. Right? Don't want to go out there to really walk in it because what happens? Right? We get muddy shoes. Right? And how does it feel when we try to walk through mud? Is it easy? Can you run through the mud? What happens if you try running on in a very muddy field? If you ever watch football players, they may slip and fall, right? And you can use soccer players too, right? They play outside. So football actually works in both continents for this, right? Soccer on the European side and American football on us. So yeah, it's hard to run. You can't really navigate through it. How does it feel? Is it cold? Chances are it pretty much is. It is cold, right? You certainly don't want to necessarily walk through it barefoot all the time. Perhaps it's still raining too. All that stuff coming down, right? All that water still coming down, right? Still coming down on you. And then what happens to your shoes and clothing, right? Very hard to clean. Something else to do, right? Clean those shoes. So when there's a lot going on in our own personal lives, all right, that could be the heavy rain that we're kind of just alluded to a little bit. It's hard sometimes to prioritize. what is important to us. And events, they can be positive, right? Maybe your child's football game or a baseball game or a swim meet, whatever it is. That's certainly a very positive activity, but they could also be a negative activity. Right? Something negative happens. You're late for work, right? You're rushing and you're late for work. Still can't make every light. As a result, too many times, maybe company tells you, we don't need you any longer. Or sometimes it's a combination of both, right? Just a lot of doings, a lot of activity. That can be mud, right? But we typically have a tendency to only focus on the negative, right? That those negative events can produce the mud, right? But that's not true. It can be too many positives, just too many goings on. But so it's remembering that too much of anything may form the mud that we're referring to, right? Go back to what we just mentioned a few moments ago with the rain. I mean, water is certainly necessary for life. We need it to hydrate ourselves, plants need it, and so forth. So it's a necessary event, necessary substance that we need. But too much of it, an overabundance of rain, it can drown life. And so that's what I'm referring to. Too much going on, too much happening, not enough of being in that present moment of being. So, how do we not get muddy then? That's an important component, right? Important task that we all want to learn. How do we slow down? Well, you just don't add more water, right? Or in a person's case, activities. We don't have to continually be doing something. The not doing something is doing something, right? We don't need to be traveling to, many destinations, many restaurants or shopping malls or wherever, too many commitments, right? So don't add any more. Don't overthink. When something arises, don't overthink it. Just accept it for what it is. Wow, I got a promotion at work. That's a cool thing, right? Right? Accept it for what it is. But what happens after too many promotions, right? Or when you get a promotion, what do you like to do? Sure, you may go out and celebrate with friends, right? And that's perfectly fine. But maybe don't stay out too late. So don't overthink. Don't overthink and don't overdo. And then let whatever is going on right now, just let it be. Let it run its course. Go with the flow. You don't need to do anything additional. You're already inundated. Your soil is already saturated. And that can lead to, those feelings of anxiety. Wow, I've got a lot to do. Am I going to make it on time? I've got, a pottery class coming up tonight, but I have to make sure that dinner is ready. Then after that, I have to make sure that, dishes are loaded in the dishwasher or laundry is folded for the next day. There's a lot of goings on. So let whatever be. You don't have to do anything additional. If your kids are having a sports, a particular season, hockey, football, basketball, whatever it is, let it run out. Right? Certainly make their games. Right? It's important to offer our family members that loving kindness and support. But don't forget you're the family member too. You're a family member too, and you're just as important. So when that season ends, let it end. Maybe take a break. And in doing that, return to the breath. And you will find that when you are still and just go with the flow and don't try to control too many events or too many variables, your balance will return. And by what I mean by that is think about what goes on in the day. How many events you can control, how many events you cannot control. You can control the time you leave for work, for example, but you cannot control how fast the person is going in front of you. You can't control the timing of the lights. You can't control inclement weather. You can't control a traffic accident. So don't try to control, just let it be. Right? That's returning to the breath. When you're finding anxiety beginning to creep up on you, just breathe in like we do in ours, like we do in our guided meditations. Just breathe in, pause, pause, and slowly let it out. And that balance will return. And that balance that will find its way back into your being. That is just like the sun. And that sun, just like the spider song, right? Dries up all the rain, right? Dries up all that moisture. And then the road in front of you is smoother to travel. And that smoothness is a lessened sense of anxiety, a lessened sense of hyper awareness, and more of a sense of being, of enjoyment, enjoying the moments that are around you. And those are the rewards, those are the benefits of letting it be, not trying to control too much. Only what's in your ability to control. I tell my some students when they take tests, think about what you can control on that test. You can't control the questions that are given to you. But what can you control? Your level of preparation, how much effort you're taking to study. That's something that you can control. I can study the vocabulary words. I can practice the questions in the book. In practice or good test taking strategies and so forth. But I can't control, or they can't control the questions that are given to them. It's the same thing. Balance will return when you return to your breath. So our next Dharma talk, right, in 2 weeks, on the 18th, and we'll follow up on this theme. But because what happens after it rains? A healthy rain, right? Not an overflooding rain. We get flowers. So we'll follow up on accepting those flowers, enjoying those blooms that very often make their way into our lives, but sometimes we just don't acknowledge or are able to see them. So join us on April 18th. It's Easter Monday. So Also, very happy to announce our first of the season silent retreat, May 29th. It's a Sunday, so all of our retreats are on a Sunday. Silent retreats are on a Sunday, the last Sunday of the month, from 7 to 4:30. They're free, always free. Right? And you're always welcome to join us. Registration is on our website at bluelotusmeditation.us, so you can go in there and register right now if you like, as well as our Resiliency Plus course. It's completely asynchronous if you like. You're certainly invited to meet with me if you choose, but it's certainly 100% asynchronous if you choose. So resiliency, right? If you're resilient, you can certainly make it through challenging times, but the plus part is how to thrive, right? How to blossom during those challenging times of our lives. And certainly join us for any number of our weekly sanghas, our healing sangha, our veteran sangha, our rainbow sangha, and teen sanghas. Registration is required for those just for accounting purposes, I suppose, right? But you don't have to give any identification or any self-identifying information if you choose not to. Perfectly anonymous, if that is how you'd like to remain. But we will talk about different themes for each one of those sanghas to help you incorporate mindfulness into your daily life, to help support you, to help you grow, so you don't have to walk through the mud. And if you do find our talks pleasing and informative, please do subscribe and like to our channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. However you choose to support us, we love having you here, and you're always welcome. You're always welcome to send me an email too with any questions or anything that's on your mind. That's what I'm here for, to help you in any way that I can. And with that, my friends, I wish you all till the 18th, right? For another 2 weeks to our next time, our meeting together. I wish you all a night or an afternoon, a day of peace and ease. Until next time, take care, my friends.